Whew. Okay. Just thought I would give a little recap about what's been going on. Let's see. Today is Tuesday, and I could work backwards. I don't know. I just know I'm not going to get everything in, and that's going to bug me after the video goes off. But here's the thing. Last week on Thursday, I think, I got... somebody told me that the one of Matt Krause's staff told me that one of the bills that I helped him write was being scheduled for a hearing, and he said, "Hey, so can you come down and testify?" Well, one thing led to another, and it ended up. I didn't really want to go because I'm really under pressure to get everything ready for protest. But if Matt is going to see merit in an idea that I had enough so much that he's going to write a bill, and then the daggum state legislature committee sees enough merit that they're going to schedule it for a hearing, there's just no way that I'm not going to testify. And so they said, well, don't testify or don't. So I asked Matt's staff, hey, what's the most effective thing? Can I get a bunch of people to go to there and testify, and we'll just make it rain testimonies? And he said, no, the committee asked that we limit the people testifying, and they're not doing virtual testimonies, so it's got to be in person. And I said, all right, screw it, let's just go. But then I thought about it. I was like, hey, what if I got all of the people here, the mayors, city council, school district people, to give a quote, that I would read the quote out loud, so it'd be just as good as everybody testifying. And so Thursday, I sent an email to all of the elected officials here in Tarrant County asking people for their quotes, and I received a handful, and then that was it. And let's see, I don't know what else I did on Friday, but I did enough. Over the weekend, on, let's see, Sunday at about 5 p.m., I decided to take the kids fishing. So we found a new pond, went down there, and there's a 14-year-old kid that fishes at that pond all the time. And that dude showed us the ropes. He gave us some bait. He gave me a hook, and he's like showing me, don't fish there, fish here. And we ended up catching some great catfish, cleaned them, took them home. We're going to eat them tonight, hopefully. And so we ended up staying late, and that was just a blast. And I felt good because it kind of redeemed my fishing streak of going out and getting skunked every single time. And, I got to be better than that for my kids. I got to create some memories of actually catching some fish. So that happened. That was great. But I got home kind of late. Ended up wrapping up everything, getting the kids in bed by about 11 p.m. And I thought, okay, the next day I'm going to go testify in this hearing. So I got I'm allowed to speak for 3 minutes. So I thought, well, I'll just do a little 3-minute testimony and then be done with it. Oh, I remember what I did over the weekend. I'll keep that one to myself. Nothing bad, but it was just, I don't know. So anyway, so I thought, well, I'll get this testimony hammered out and get it ready. Well, the importance of this thing starts to weigh on me, and it's 3 minutes, and it's so much easier for me to talk for a long time, as evidenced by every video I've ever done. It's easier for me to talk a long time than it is for me to talk a short time. So to actually pack everything I wanted to say into 3 minutes was a ridiculously monumentous task for me. It took me up until, I think, 5 a.m. to get it done, which is stupid, but that's just what happened. And then I think I was going to wake up at 5:30. Or no, I did it until 4:30, and I was going to wake up at 5, something like that. So I got 30 minutes of sleep. And then, so I went to bed for 30 minutes, woke up, hit the road, went and picked up a friend, drove to Austin, got there at like 9 a.m. or something. I'm not sure what time. And then waited around for like 3 hours, and then testified for 3 minutes. and then drove back for 3 hours. And here's the thing, that testimony, I learned so much. I mean, first of all, it's just fascinating being at the Capitol and being in that environment. And it's just so cool to see the stuff going on, the legislators and the staff and the tourists. And man, it's just such a neat environment. And it was also kind of weird because you had the negative pressure tents outside and doing COVID tests, and all the military people, guards or whatever, they have their assault rifles, and that's a different thing to see. It's something that going to Mexico you see fairly regularly, but here locally I haven't seen too many times. And so that was all kind of weird. It's just, anyway, then to get to see the actual process play out, and talking with Matt, seeing how hard he's working, how much he's racing around. I mean, people just wouldn't believe what's going on down there. It's just wild to see. And then we sat and watched some testimonies and some hearings, and then it was our turn to get up and testify. And it's always just an eye-opening experience, because it's never like what you would imagine. And so I prepared my testimony in my own environment, imagining what it would be like. And of course I was wrong about what it would be like. I get up and testify, and the committee members are like, they don't even look at me. And they're like head down, shuffling papers, getting up, walking out of the room, talking to each other, talking to staff. I mean, doing everything but listening. But that's a typical thing in those hearings. It's just, you just don't expect that until it actually happens. You just kind of wonder, are they even listening? Is anything making an impact? But then I started to wrap up, and I finished, and one of the council members there was, he admonished me a little bit for my testimony, because I read quotes out loud from these locally elected officials. And he's like, hey man, we want to hear your testimony, not their testimony. And how do I know that that's their testimony? They're not here. So, and I just, you could have a criticism of what he said, but I think that there was also merit in what he said. So I just said, hey, point taken. And would you like me to send you the emails of all these people? I could do that for you. But he's like, no. I was like, all right, well, hey, point taken. Anyway, so that was interesting. Anyway, so after it was all said and done, I was thinking, what good did I just do? And there's a learning process in testifying down there and thinking about what would have been the most effective. And I actually think, in hindsight, in the room, that the most effective testimony I could have given is just to show my face and just to stand up and to be a physical presence of a human being that's there that says, I am not, like, I know more than the average bear about property tax. I have some kind of credentials or experience that's worthwhile to take notice of, that makes me somebody that might be a worthwhile person to listen to. Like that's one big part of it. And then just saying, I am in favor of this bill. That's basically it. That I think that part of it was the most effective thing I could have done. So how much does that move the needle? I don't know. It's necessary. It's part of the process. And so that's the part of the process that I needed to play. And that's what I take in hindsight of that. They didn't need me reading from a script. They're bored. They're beat to death by that whole process. They're up there getting to hear these hearings, and a hearing's taking like 5 to 7 minutes or something, just hammer them out one after another. They're tired. They want to hear a human being up there talking like with a real authentic voice and just saying hi to them. Yeah, this is important. This has merit. And that's what they want to hear. So in hindsight, I would have probably taken 2 or 3 bullets, probably 2, and said, not use notes at all. That would have been better. Now, after it's over, I'm having these reflections on what I should have done. I should have asked Matt's staff for more input on my testimony. I would have scrapped the whole thing and done it different. But now, 24 hours removed from it, I'm reflecting. One thing that's made me reflect is that the morning of, as I'm walking into the Capitol, I just kind of think, I'm putting out all this effort to go do this. It's, I should just at least snap a photo and put it online so everybody can see what's going on. So I snap a selfie and making a funny face like that. And I post it. Didn't think anything else of it. Just got busy. later on that night, I went and looked, and I was like, I was actually literally laying in bed, and I thought, I'm going to go look at this post. I went and looked at that post. It had, okay, up until this point, I may have had a post that got like 600 likes. And it was probably like the most ridiculous post I've ever made, which is like, me carrying a 2-foot tall stack of paper to the appraisal district, or sitting in front of a cart with several stacks of paper, many feet high, saying, hey, I'm going to protest for this. And then a bunch of people like it, and it makes a splash, and that's cool. Well, last night, laying in bed, I look at that photo, and it's got 1,400 likes. And I'm like, what in the world happened? What is this all about? It's been shared more than 50 times, and, I don't know, 80, 100 comments or whatever. I have no idea. It's just blew up. And I'm thinking, what in the world caused that to happen? And I've been thinking about it a lot. Well, and then I posted another thing at like 11 p.m. Of the photos of, of me with Matt Krause and Joe and then just me testifying and that sort of thing. And then that got, I think it's still climbing, but I posted at 11 p.m., which is kind of the worst time to post. It's got like 900 likes. I'm like, wow, this is just nuts. And so here's the reflection that I have today. And I had a very good conversation with somebody. I think it probably would be inappropriate for me to say who, but somebody that's important. And there's buzz out there about what I took part of and about what I said. And it's just crazy. When you look around that room, you think, what am I doing? What kind of impact is this having? I'm just doing it because out of respect to the process. But what I didn't really account for was the impact that it was having outside the room. I never would have guessed. I have no idea how people even heard the testimony. I know it's being recorded, but that website is not a very visited website. You have to dig to go find that testimony. I still haven't seen it myself. I don't know. I haven't gotten a link for it or anything, but I'm just thinking there were people that watched that testimony and shared it and talked about it, and it made a splash. And they didn't like, I mean, I know about it because they didn't like what I said. And to the haters out there, I say, you can kiss my entire butt. I don't stand up, and I'm not willing to fight unless it's so black and white. First of all, I didn't say anything negative about the appraisal district. I said something negative about the rigged or corrupt voting system. The Tarrant Appraisal District, I've had a lot of great experiences with them, and I've got a lot of good things to say about the people there, including Jeff Law, which is not something that you get popular saying, but that's the truth. I've had a great personal experience with Jeff Law. Just the truth. But that voting system is rigged and it is corrupt, and I am going to say the truth. And it needs to be said because it affects so many people. Indirectly, but it does. The Tarrant Appraisal District is not sure. They need to take a better stance. And for that, I guess you could lay that at Jeff Law's feet. But I don't know. I haven't asked his opinion about the voting system. I haven't asked it. I don't know. Maybe he's doing stuff behind the scenes. I don't know. I got nothing so bad to say about that. All I know is the property tax code needs to change. That's where the problem is. That's why I'm down. That's why I was down in Austin fighting, because the problem is in Austin. It's not in Tarrant County. If I had a problem with something Tarrant County was doing, I'd probably stand up and tell them to their face, just like I told them. The problem is the tax code. We got to change it. My kid just called, and they're probably going to call over and over and over again. But anyway, here's the thing. The impact that it made outside the room was maybe bigger than the impact it made inside the room. And again, I just want to say I'm just humbled by the process. And I just thought the reason I turned this on is I was thinking to our own real estate agents in our company, if they were to see this, I just thinking, I don't talk much about what I'm doing or how much I'm doing what I'm doing, because sometimes it just distracts from what focus we're doing as a company together. But the big message here is that the reason I'm doing what I'm doing is that this company is more than just about a transaction. And that's the reason why the people that are working here is because we align on that. We take care of people wholly, not just for a transaction and then it ends. We care about people, and we have a unique position and unique calling to help people in a specific way. And we can't take care of every need, but we can look at a certain category of needs and take care of the need. The compensation is a secondary thing. It has everything to do with taking care of people and doing the right thing and trying to make a difference in this world and living with purpose. And I just believe if you do the right thing, then the money will show up. And I'm not just not concerned with that. But this is marketing, and my version of marketing is, I think I've got a marketing plan on my wall, and here it is right here. My marketing plan is to care deeply. That's what it is. And our brand and our marketing is our client's experience. It has everything to do with being authentic and being who we want to be and being the people we wish we could find, and letting the truth about who we are and what we stand for speak for itself. And if that is good, then that will be attractive, and that's all the marketing we need. So there you go. Trying to make a difference in this world. It's just cool that if what we're doing has value, then value will come from it, and we will receive value. And the value of the gratitude that has been shown to me is all I need. But that's not true, because my time is worth money on some level, and so is everybody in our company, and what we're doing here costs money. And if what I'm doing does not generate some cash on some level, then I can't keep doing what I'm doing. And so for that, I also thank you so much for your support. If you're somebody that's been a client or support us on some level, it takes money. And so it will also turn into that. And it's just I just feel so fortunate to be able to do something and live with a purpose, and to be able to connect those dots so that it's something more than just on a transaction level. And so there you go. The splash outside the room was bigger than the splash inside the room. And it's these thoughts and feelings about this are bigger than I can really comprehend. And it's almost easier to just kind of touch the thought, look at the Facebook. I can't read those comments. I can't read. It's too much. It's overwhelming. It's like, you can only read thank you so many times before you're like, this is crazy. This is really crazy. This is really nuts. It's just overwhelming to think about. Anyway, so wild ride, fun times. I'm gonna go home, hopefully get minimum 7 hours of sleep, come back tomorrow. We got a lot of work to do to be ready for the 15th, which is when values are coming out. And I'm just glad that I'm doing what I'm doing. I love it. I love serving people, and I love trying to help folks, and that's what it's all about. And I cannot wait to have our group of business leaders here locally joining together, making a difference in people's lives, and filling up people's news feeds on Facebook with local business leaders caring for people in our local community. That's so exciting to me. If you want to get on that bandwagon, then I want to get on your bandwagon, and I will bring exposure to your company and bring you and help funnel business your way like you've never seen before. And it's going to be just a fun ride. I'm so excited about the future. One day at a time. Got to go home right now. Dinner's got to cook some catfish. Over now.